Hi everyone, today we're going to be making a watermelon bracelet. The pattern measurements will be down in the description below. So now we're just going to get started by making this diagonal slash shaped start. Now I'm going to be following the picture. I'm going to be making the start and following the string arrangement that's on the screen. So we're going to first start by using our neon green string to make a forward backward knot, which is half of a forward knot, then half of the backward knot. Then I'm going to take the next string, which according to my pattern is going to be my green string. And make another backward forward knot over all the other strings minus the previous string we just used. Now put that to the left. Take the next string, which is supposed to be light green. Make another backward forward knot with that. Now that we're done, we're going to take the next two. So I'm going to use the next one that's going to be the light pink. Then after the two light pink, I'm going to be to brown, then to pink. Yes. So let's get started by making the first pink. Remember, forward backward knots. And now we're going to take the brown string and make forward backward knots with the brown strings. And now we're going to finish this by using the two pink strings and making backward forward knots. So we're going to end this with a backward forward knot using the pink string. And now we've completed our shape stars, and we're actually just going to get started with the actual pattern that we're going to be making the original knots. So I'm going to start by making the first V, the one that has the pineapple on the watermelon stuff, watermelon seeds on the left first. So to do that, I'm first going to take the first two strings on the left. Now the second string there, which is going to be our green string, I'm going to take that string and make a backward forward knot over the the neon green string, which is the string on the edge. So make a backward forward knot. Then after that, I'm going to make 8 forward knots. So I'm going to move this string from there now all the way to the edge. So that's going to be moved from the second string to the last string on the right. And here we are now. So now we're going to move the next string that is there. So push that green string to one side. Now take the neon green string on the edge there, because we're going to be using that to make 8 forward knots and then 1 forward backward knot. So let's get started by making the first 8 knots, 8 forward knots. And now we're going to make our last knot, which is going to be a forward backward knot. That's a forward knot and then a backward knot. So now that we're done with this two, we're going to move these two strings to one side, and then we're going to take the next string, that's going to be our dark green string, and put that one to one side. Now take the light green string on the left edge, and we're going to be making 6 forward knots and 1 forward backward knot on the dark green string. So get started with our 6 forward knots. And now we're going to make our forward backward knot on the dark green string. So now we've completed this part. What we're going to be doing now, we're going to make it the part that has the watermelon seeds. Now this is going to be a little tricky, but it's kind of easy. So we're just going to be using the pattern on screen, and I'm going to like specifically highlight what we're going to be doing first because I'm segment knotting. Yeah, I'm segment knotting this. So take the first 4 strings from the left, then take the second string. That's going to be the second light pink string. It looks like cream on camera, but it's like light pink. And make a backward forward knot on the string on the edge. That's going to be on the other light pink string. So make a backward forward knot there. Now grab the next 2 strings, which are going to be brown. Make 1 forward knot and 1 forward backward knot. Now drop the string there. Pick the second string from the left, which is, in our case, it's going to be the brown string. Pick that brown string and make a backward forward knot over the last string on the left edge, which is going to be our pink string. Now take the third string from the left, which is going to be our pink string, the one we made in our splits before. So we're going to take that string and make 1 backward knot over the first brown string, and then to the edge, the last string, we're going to make a backward forward knot again. Now we've completed one of the watermelon seeds. We're going to go over to the pink sides. So counting from the left, you're going to take the first pink string, and we're going to make one backward forward knot over the brown string using the first pink string. And then we're going to use that same pink string and make a forward backward knot over the second pink string. And after we're done, we're going to leave that pink string there for a while. We'll get back to it later. Now those two brown strings we have there, pick them up like that. We're going to make a backward forward knot. You can just make a forward knot or a backward knot, but following the pattern, we're supposed to make a backward forward knot. And now we're going to leave the string on the left, then pick that pink string up, that first pink string up again. We're going to be using that, so we're going to make one backward forward knot over that brown string for a second time, backward forward knot over that brown string, and there, we've completed our second part, which is going to be the second seed. And now we're going to make the last part of this seed, watermelon seed part. So we're going to take the second string again, that's the second light pink string, and make one forward knot and one forward backward knot like we previously did. We're just going to be repeating the first steps we made at the beginning. And backward knots. Now we're going to take that brown string again, the second string counting from the left, the first brown string, and we're going to make a backward forward knot over the first pink string, first light pink string. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up my colors. First light pink string, or as the camera says, cream string. And then we're going to pick up that second light pink string and make a backward knot and then a backward forward knot. And now we've completed the watermelon seeds for the left part, and what we're going to do now is just to arrange our strings so that we're going to be easy, it's going to be easier for us to hold while knotting. Now we're going to take the next string, which is going to be our light green string, and we're going to make, remember how we did it previously, so we're going to be making six forward and six backward knots. So it's going to move from the position it's in now to the left edge. And now that we're there, we're just going to add that to the strings we're going to be knotting on. Now going right back to the right side, we're going to take that neon green string and we're going to be making 8 knots. We're going to make 8 backward knots with that neon green string, moving it from where it is now to the left edge again. And now what we're going to do is to take the green string on the right edge there. Oh, put the new green string to one side. So we're going to take that green string and we're going to make 8 backward knots and 1 backward forward knot. So let's first make the 8 backward knots, then I'll get back to you at the end of that. Now that we've made our 8 backward knot, we're going to move to the new green string on the edge and I'm going to make a backward forward knot over that one. Backward forward knots. Now we've done this when we first started the bracelet after the start. So now we're just going to continue. So the next string we're going to take is going to be the dark green string, which is currently on the right edge now. We're going to take that string and make six backward knots. And then we're going to make a backward forward knot on the light green string. So 6 backward knots. And now what we're going to do is make our backward forward knots over that light green string. And now that we're done, we're going to be making the right side of the watermelon seed, which is kind of the inside part of the watermelon. So I'm going to be setting my knots in this like we did, but we're going to be making the opposite of what we did previously, opposite knots. So taking this second pink string, we're going to be making a backward forward knot, a forward backward knot over the one on the edge. Sorry, opposite strings. Then take the next two strings that are going to be our brown strings. We're going to make 1 backward knot and 1 backward forward knot. So now we're going to take the second string on the right and we're going to make another forward backward knot over that first pink string and move that back. Now we're going to take that second pink string again, and this time I'm going to make 1 forward knot and 1 forward backward knot. There we've made 1 seed, so we're going to go to the light pink parts this time. So taking the first light pink, remember we're counting from the right side, we're taking the first light pink and we're going to make a forward backward knot over the brown string next to it. Then we're going to go and make a backward forward knot on the second light pink string, backward forward knot. Now we're going to leave those two strings down for a little while, and we're going to pick up those two brown strings. Now we're going to make a backward forward knot with the brown strings, like them over each other, backward forward knots. Then pick up that first light pink string again, because we're going to use it and make another forward backward knot on the brown string next to it, like we did previously. And there, that's it. Move that one to one side. Then we're going to pick up the second pink string, so we're going to be repeating what we did before. So now we're going to make one backward knot and one backward forward knot. So now we're going to take that brown string and make a forward backward knot like we did before. Forward backward knot. Now we're going to pick up that second pink string again and make one forward knot, one forward backward knot. And we're done with the watermelon seeds on the right part. That's nice, isn't it? So after we're done, we're going to move those 6 strings together. Now pick up the dark green string, and because we're going to be making 6 forward knots with that string, so we're moving it from where position it is now to the right edge. Now when it gets to the right edge, you notice that it is in the same position it was in when we first started making this bracelet, after we finished making these shape starts that are gonna start. And from that point, I'm just going to leave a timestamp on the screen where you can go back to restart the tutorial. If you are confused anyway, please let me know in the comment section, because from here I'm just going to skip right to the, you know it, I'm just going to skip to the end where I show you how to make a shaped end instead. Or you know what, I'm just going to go and show you one last time. So we're just going to pick up that green string and make 8 forward knots, and then I'll leave a timestamp for continuing from here at the beginning of the tutorial. You know what I mean. So here we are now at the end of the bracelet, like I said, showing you how to make a start. So me, I just stopped at a particular point where I had this kind of weird like half triangle, diagonal, perfect diagonal side, and it was actually my wrist side, so it was nice to stop there. Now with where my strings are, I still have my neon green side string on one side and my green strings on the right edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my dark green string and make a backward knot over the green string. Now I'm going to take the next string, that's going to be the pink string, and make a backward knot over those 2 strings together. Now pick up the next pink string, the next string, and make another backward knot over those strings together. So all we're going to be doing is picking up the next string. This is my case is going to be the first brown, and we're going to make a backward knot, over all the strings together at once. At the beginning of the bracelet, we made a forward backward knot, but for what I'm doing now, I'm making only a backward knot because, well, you can make a backward forward knot if you prefer, but I'm making a backward knot only. Why? I just felt like that might be easier to explain on the camera. And I'm sorry. And for the last string here, you don't have to worry yourself about it. Just make a backward knot. It's going to stay. It's not going to come off. And just like that. Now I'm going to be making a plated end because that's what I would like to do. You can make twisted ties. I just prefer to make mine plated so that it kind of matches the watermelon theme going on. So I'm going to divide my bracelets into 3. I'm going to put the 2 pinks and 2 browns on one side, put the dark green and neon, dark and light and green together, and then the last ones together. Now I'm going to take what's on the left and move it to the middle, then take what's on the right and move it to the middle. There. Left to middle, right to middle, and left to middle, right to middle, and that's all we're going to be doing. That's basically all you need to do for a plated start either way. And that's actually the end of this tutorial. Thank you for sticking around. So thank you for watching. Have a great time. Bye.